Hey, we did it. We did it. It finally happened. 50,000 subscribers. First of all, thank you. I don't like doing this. Bow to your master. But thank you guys so much for subscribing, for believing in my work, which sounds a little bit too pretentious, and I don't really know how to word it. Really, you guys know, you've seen these kind of videos. Thank you. I'm appreciative of you watching my videos, because they take a long time to make sometimes. And so, if you're new to the channel, every time there's a milestone with the channel, there is an AMA, an Ask Me Anything, where you can ask me anything. Doesn't need to be about the channel, this could be just whatever. So let's get started. Will you be doing a video of a Bakugan battle? That's gonna be difficult because it's hard to make it look interesting, and as much as I get so many comments, people saying, hey, make videos of you actually battling with your Bakugan, make videos of you playing the card game. People don't watch that. Like, I've seen the numbers, people really just don't watch that, and I need to focus on videos that will actually get views. So if I can, and make it look good and entertaining, then I'm gonna try it out, but right now I kinda can't. Have you tried the Dragon Ball Super card game? It's amazing. I have not. I'm not a Dragon Ball guy. I was, during the Big Three, the reign of the Big Three, I was a Naruto fan. Didn't even really play that game. If you had to work for any trading card company, which one would it be and why? Wizards right now is kinda if I was thinking Force of Will, but I'd have to learn Japanese, because they're a privately owned company, only in Japan. They don't have an American division. Pokemon? How would I work for Pokemon? I mean, I guess Pokemon. I really don't care for the mechanics in the card game. Like, it's a fun card game. It's okay, but And Spin Master isn't really a card game company. But seeing as you listed that, I'm gonna say Spin Master just because I've met the guys. Have you ever been a video gamer in your life? If so, what kind of games did you play? Okay. Everyone's a video gamer. I don't know how you become a video gamer. I play video games, usually RPGs, some fighting games. You know, getting into Jump Force when that comes out. I'm really excited. Usually it was Blaze Blue. I just played so much Blaze Blue, and that was dumb. Usually RPGs. Have you ever considered playing Yu-Gi-Oh again? Most likely casually, or at least playing it online sometimes, like Yu-Gi-Oh Pro. I have. I'm working on decks. I'm working on actually being able to go to my locals, because I have to pay $5 in order to enter the back and play with people and all that kind of stuff, and it's to help support the prize pool and stuff, whatever. But it's a $5 for a month, so it's not that bad. I'm gonna try. I have some people who have reached out to me saying, hey, you wanna join our group? And I've been trying to organize time to actually hang out with those people, but I'm constantly busy. What season of Bakugan besides the first is your favorite and why? Okay, gonna expose myself here. I've only seen the first season. I know. Heresy in its finest, but it was during a time when I was in middle school, and middle school sucked. Middle school is horrible, and it was just, yeah. So, like, I watched the first season. I didn't really finish watching the first season way back when, and I only actually finished watching the first season when I heard the new Bakugan was starting up, and I honestly, after watching the first season, I have no interest in watching the rest. I don't care what you say, the original Bakugan show wasn't good. A commercial airplane flying at a speed of 700 miles per hour is detected 1,000 miles away with a radar. Half an hour later, an interceptor plane flying with a speed of 800 miles per hour is dispatched. How long will it take the interceptor plane to meet with the other plane? Well, you see, here's the issue. You didn't actually tell me how far away it is from the other plane, so I can't actually give you an answer. If you're gonna throw these kind of questions at me, I need more information. How much money do you think you spend on trading cards? Seeing as I buy booster boxes, I mean, like $100 every 3 months, because that's how far they're spaced apart. I mean, if there's more than one expansion, usually I have to skip an expansion. What's your real name? It's Nunya. None your business. I'm not giving you guys my real name. Are you going to play Bakugan at a competitive level? I want to. That requires me to travel, and traveling costs money, along with getting a hotel and paying for food and stuff. So, I mean, I'm gonna try, and, you know, I have to make sure it works with my classes, my class schedule, which is also gonna be hard. But the answer's, hopefully. Would now be a good time to subscribe. Now, always is a good time to subscribe. When are you going to start sending gifts back in Pokemon Go? When I actually bother. I don't play Pokemon, I don't play app games that much. I don't care about app games that much. I barely ever play them. Usually I open up Pokemon Go just to catch one Pokemon for the 7-day thing. Do you have any thoughts on what could develop the Bakugan Battle Planet video game, and who do you think would most likely develop the game if it exists? Well, we do know that one of the developers for the Bakugan video game is going to be one of the developers that has a character in Smash Brothers. So the most logical developer is Sonic Team. Could you explain what some of the different symbols on the Bakugan TCG cards mean? I plan to. The issue is that there's 3. I was thinking about making an entire video about it, but there's just 3. I mean, I will. Eventually, it's just gonna be a boring video to make. What is your favorite card game? Don't you dare make me choose. How dare you? Is the Krusty Krab unfair? I mean, Mr. Krabs is in there. So what is your thoughts? Mr. Krusty Krab is always unfair, and I cannot stand for this inequality. I cannot stand for the way they treat their employees. I refused to have another Krabby Patty again until this injustice is fixed. What's your favorite Bakugan from the new Battle Planet line? Ultra Garganoid, because he's cool, and it was my first Ultra Bakugan. What is your favorite band and song? Did you ever watch JoJo? I never watched JoJo. My favorite band is, changing constantly. Right now, I'm getting really into Like a Storm. Mostly, what was it? Not that one. Complicated. Like a Storm Complicated. You have previously said you haven't played any buddy fight before, but have you ever considered starting to play? No. I have 0 interest in buddy fight. Guys, stop. Please. I already play enough card games. It's already expensive enough. I can't. You like jazz? Can you do some more streams of Jump Force? Oh, believe me, there's gonna be plenty of content for Jump Force. Don't you worry. What does Pot of Greed do? I have no idea. Really, they should try a little bit harder to really get the knowledge out there of what Pot of Greed does. It's been plaguing the community for so long, since nobody knows how to properly use Pot of Greed. It's just been a mystery for years. Do you know when the Bakugan TCG is coming to Europe? April. In your opinion, what do you think the Bakugan TCG game is a game that can be directed to an older generation? Yes, of course it is. I mean, in this nowadays, toys is mostly bought by the adults, by the us, and it's completely reasonable. The market has completely changed. Do you play Magic? I play Commander. That's really it. Slowly not enjoying Magic. Tea or coffee? Now that is a tough one, because I've slowly been developing a taste for coffee. But honestly, I'm always a die-hard tea guy. Tea is the best. Mostly because of Uncle Iroh. Do you know what Kamen Rider is, and who is your favorite Kamen Rider? I know what Kamen Rider is. It's the Japanese version of Power Rangers. My favorite Kamen Rider is Kimberly Hart. I'm actually a yokai controlling you to make videos, so I'm the one to thank. Well, thank you. You've made me 50,000 subscribers popular. I don't know why you're using all that effort to make me better. You could be doing this to help yourself. But okay. What gave you the idea to make the What Happened To videos? I was super angry. Just constantly angry. I started off with What Happened To Chaotic, and it's just because I didn't know what happened to it, and that really angered me. And then I made the video, I did the research, and then a year later somebody said, hey, do one for Bakugan, and then it just started becoming a trend. Would you work for Spin Master? Yeah. Have you ever played or heard of Nier Automata? I have played and heard of Nier Automata. It was a great game, very emotional, very heavy, that made me feel very empty inside after I beat it. And I did choose to help another person, for anyone who beat the game and knows what I'm talking about. Not really into your content, but you got this, Chief. Thanks, mate. How do I get Bakugan singles? Man, I have no idea. Like right now, there is no secondary market for Bakugan singles. If Spin Master is smart, if Spin Master wants to really start this whole thing, and I doubt they really do, because their direction is very different from other card games, they would put themselves on the TCG Player website. But who knows what's gonna happen. Where should I never eat? McDonald's. I mean, like, there's other alternatives. That's pretty cost effective. I mean, like, I'd choose Taco Bell over McDonald's. Everything I eat at McDonald's makes me sick. Can we become friends, bro? No, you're a stranger on the internet. I've had some really bad experiences with people who think they're friends with me, and I've never seen their face. It gets really creepy, guys. Will you have Billion back for another video about something else? We're trying to figure out a time when I can be on his channel, but we're keeping in contact. It's just hard. What motivates me to do YouTube? People actually watch it, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I can make them into videos, and I can make it entertaining. I mean, I originally wanted to write books, and I still do. Nobody reads those. How often do you play Vanguard? Never. Never. I never do. I even deconstructed all my decks. Once I start playing so many card games, I can barely even get into Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point. I'm just trying. No promises. I will remember you. Will you remember me? I will always remember you. I can never forget you. I love you. Bakugan or Force of... How dare you, Jake? How dare you? We all know the true superior game are Pogs. Who is your favorite character in My Hero Academia? My Hero... You know, that's a tough one. Honestly, like, I want to say Deku, but, like, everyone loves Deku. My second was probably Uraraka, because she's always cute, always, like, even if she's just there, the design of her is just amazing. But out of all the characters, as of right now where I am in the story, I'm only on volume 9, Todoroki. That thing with his mom hurt. What is your opinion on penguins? Penguins! Not penguins! What was your life like growing up? And this is the part where I make do on my promise. If you followed me on YouTube, which hopefully you did, and you actually read the posts, I said that I would answer this question, and I was thinking about just leaving this question out entirely because I really don't like talking about this kind of thing. Growing up was not fun. I had extreme anger issues because it's actually an issue that's run in my family for a long time. My grandpa had to leave his family when he was 16 because his dad was really bad. He joined the military, and then they had my dad, and, you know, because my grandpa, you know, still had a bunch of anger issues, he nearly strangled my dad one time. That was an issue. I mean, like, they still love each other, don't get me wrong. It's not like they're abusive, but it's just when it gets to that level, it's not fun. Then it didn't really get that bad with my dad, but he still shouted a lot, and which doesn't sound like that bad. Again, he was not abusive at all, but it was a mental challenge so bad to where I had the issue where my sister and I couldn't go up to him and ask him for help most of the time, and we were scared of whatever we did, because we thought if it's in the slightest wrong, he would get angry with us, and he was just a constant source of fear. And that made me angry all the time because, yeah. So I wasn't constantly getting in trouble in elementary school, and I was constantly getting depressed and feeling horribly empty. And I haven't actually gone to a doctor and said, hey, am I depressed? Do I have clinical depression? I just kind of assume I do, since there was one time in middle school where I literally couldn't feel anything, and it was recess, and all I could do was lay on the bench because I couldn't bother to even move. And it was just so bad to where my muscles just started to not work, and I don't even remember the entirety of most of middle school because of that was an issue. That was not fun. And so when you'll often hear me talk about, oh, those angsty middle school years. No, it's because I'm saying, hey, middle school was an absolute atrocity for me, and elementary school was absolutely horrible, and it was actually so bad. I hated growing up. I hated being alive so bad that I hated going to school, to where I actually hid in my house to try and make sure I didn't go to school. And then that scared my mom because she thought I was lost, and that she called the cops, and then I realized, man, maybe I probably shouldn't do that. My mom got really scared. There was one time before primary school, before first grade. Oh no, it had to be around like the first, second, third grade area, where I had an abusive teacher. She didn't hit anyone, but the way she taught, she would shout at you, make you feel absolutely disgusting for getting anything wrong, make you scared to get anything wrong, put you in timeout constantly, ostracize you from the rest of everyone else. And then my parents found out about that, and they're like, wow, you're horrible, I'm reporting you, and I'm getting you out of... So moving on from that, now, I was angry, I was upset, I was depressed, I would hate everything. And it became, at least in elementary school, it became such an issue to where everyone avoided me, and making friends was nearly impossible. And I got lucky moving to a new middle school, because there was this one part where everyone who was going to each different middle school in our area, everybody from the classes got together, and the only people who were going to the middle school I was going to in the entire school was like 5 people. And so I had a chance to start fresh. Nobody was going to know me in middle school. I wouldn't have the stigma of being the bully. Like, I was legitimately a bully in elementary school. It's just because I was constantly upset and angry, which is hard to imagine for a lot of people, but I was a bully. And so in middle school, I had the chance to start fresh, and I just shut up. I didn't say shit. I didn't say anything. I kept my head down, and just any anger, anything I wanted to say, anything I wanted to do, I just repressed constantly, because I didn't want to be ostracized again. And that, you know, not being able to express my emotions is what caused me to get really depressed a lot. And luckily, during that time is when I met one of my best friends, K+8. I met him when we were in gym class. He was playing wall ball by himself, and I'm like, hey, that guy's alone. I'm alone. He doesn't look happy. I'm definitely not happy. I'm gonna give this a shot. And I walked up to him and said, hey, can I play wall ball with you? And he was like, okay. And then we just started playing wall ball every single day. Didn't really talk to each other much first. And then, he became my first, really good friend, and we're still friends, even though we're both in college. We've been friends that long. Beginning of 6th grade, it's nearly a decade now since we've been friends. And, he had anger issues too, which pushed a lot of people away from him. But, you know, I saw that, and I'm like, dude, same. I feel you. Definitely keeping you close to me. And so that was nice, and then my friend group started growing, and I started getting less upset. And I was able to, because I repressed my anger, it was also very bad for me mentally, but also helped me get control of my anger. So it also taught me how to not blow up. And I still have that anger, but I know how to direct it. I use it for videos now. Just, hey, this topic, this one thing really angers me to a point where I can't handle it. I'll write a script and make a video, a rage video or something. And over time, with my dad getting, his shouting and him pushing his kids away, the point where he really clicked and decided to change was when my mom threatened to divorce him. And he didn't want that to happen, because he legitimately cared about his kids and about his relationship with my mom. And so that's when he really decided to start learning to control his anger. And now we're on really good terms. We actually talk to each other to where I'm like, hey, this scares me whenever you do this. Hey, there's parts where actually the trauma got bad enough to where if he even shouted at me, even for the most mundane things, I had to, this happened recently, I have to go into my room, sit in a corner, just squat down and not do anything. And just cry for over an hour. And when he realized that happened, he came up and said, hey, I'm not angry anymore. I had no idea this affected you that much. I'm sorry. I'll make sure not to do that again. And that's when I'm like, okay, we can actually be on it. We can actually have a good relationship now. And my dad's been working very hard to fix that. And he's very aware of it now. And honestly, because of that, I think he's a fantastic dad. And of course, my mom was always there. I mean, I'm not talking about my mom that much because I didn't have these issues with her. She was always caring and always nice. And I really appreciate what she's doing now. They both decided to, hey, we need to provide a better life for our kids. Let's both go to college. And that was really freaking hard for them. And my mom became a nurse. My dad is a metrologist. Not a meteorologist, a metrologist. It's the study of measurements. And in short, growing up sucked. I hated being alive the majority of my life. But now literally everything's better. So, there's the beginning of my dark and tragic backstory. I'm ending this video now because I need to. There was a bunch more questions I intended to answer, but I can't. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys, if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I can tell you another disturbing, I have a lot of not fun parts of my growing up. I can tell you more stories like that. There's one that I haven't told anyone that I'm not actually too upset to share. This was really, like, the biggest one. There's another one I can tell you why I'm extremely thin and why I can't gain muscle. I can gain muscle. It's just very difficult for me. But I'll tell you that when we get to 100K. Stay beautiful and keep playing.